Hello, everyone, and welcome to the English by Isis podcast. This week's episode is special since we have a very special guest with us today. As you know, I try to share the best practices with you to become fluent in English. Today's show is sponsored by Hello Talk. This is a platform where you can practice with native English speakers or other learners from all over the world. Um, they are offering a 7 day sample and for you to try the app. And you are interested, if you are interested, you can buy the monthly or annual plan and cancel at any time. Like I say, we have a guest today. His name is Kevin from the Kevin's World podcast. He has some advice on how to improve the listening skills in English. Yes, you heard it. Listening skills. Well, he's here to break this down for all of us. Hello, Kevin.
Hello, Isis. I appreciate your kind words and thank you so much for inviting me today. Um, you are really warm and I appreciate it. And I'm so happy to share those tips with you today.
Thanks. We're happy to have you. And I want to ask you about the listening skills, which are hard to improve and be good at.
Yeah, actually, my first tip is that you need to make English or you need to make listening to English as a habit. I mean, let's just be honest. If you want to be good at cooking, you need to cook as much as possible, right? If you want to be a great driver, you need to drive a lot. So, if you want to be good at English, especially at understanding people, you need to listen as much as possible. And you can include this into your daily routine. You can listen to the radio while you are in the car. Maybe if you are at the gym, maybe if you are doing the laundry. It's always good to be surrounded by the different sounds of English so your ears get used to that. So I think that's pretty obvious, but people sometimes forget about it.
Yes, I think that listening to English every day is a good way to practice your vocabulary and your pronunciation.
Yeah, and that brings me to my second tip, and it's about pronunciation and vocabulary issues. You need to know why you're not understanding what the people are saying. So, for example, if it's because maybe you haven't heard about that word before, maybe that's a vocabulary issue. And maybe you know that word, but you don't know how to pronounce it. So, you need to pay attention to how people say it. And it's very important for you to listen to other forms of English. So there isn't only American English out there. Maybe if you live in the United States, it might be a great idea for you to listen to people from that specific country. But for people like me who live in a non-speaking English country, um, English speaking country, sorry, uh, we have to listen to many resources. People from Australia, people from India, people from who are natives, but people who are also non-native English speakers. Because at the end of the day, everybody has their own way to pronounce their words. So it's great for you to have different experiences.
Audios for books are not the same as regular speaking English, and it is good to get used to listening to have natives speak most of the time.
Yeah, and it's quite interesting what you just said because audios from books are not the same as the English, the type of English that you listen in the streets, for example. So I think that my third tip is that you need to make an effort for you to understand. Okay, sometimes we just listen or we just hear words, but we don't really pay attention to them. So we really may need to make an effort to understand what other people are saying. So, for example, a great way for you to practice this is through the shadowing technique, which is about um, try to repeat what the other person is saying in real time. And but you can also find other resources out there. For example, you can find uh, listening tests online. Maybe there are also listening apps that you can listen to audios and they ask you like a couple of questions for you to test your knowledge. So that's a great way for you to practice as well. Active listening is a lot better most of the time.
Right. Many people have issues with their pronunciation, and I think that is because they don't practice enough.
Yeah, I think that's a great reason. That's a great explanation. But I think that you need to pay attention to what is really causing problems, and you need to work on it.
These are great tips. And thanks for being on the show today, Kevin. I certainly believe many people will find these tips catchy and useful at the same time. It's not common to hear such tips um, all the time, especially when you are learning a second language.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on. Appreciate it.
You're most welcome. And it is the end of today's talk. Thanks for tuning in as always. And remind you to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and as well as on my YouTube channel. And that is for uh, for today. See you next